We're also now joined by one of Jacob Blake's attorneys, B'Ivory LaMarr.
LaMarr also represents Joel Acevedo's family, and yesterday marked 1 year since Acevedo died, allegedly at the hands of an off-duty police officer. So, Mr. LaMarr, give us your first reaction to this verdict.
Well, I think it's a day that America can rejoice in justice. I think that it's important that, this case was not just about George Floyd. It was about all the families who have suffered at the hands of law enforcement. Today was about accountability. I think that it was imperative that this message today sent by a jury resonates across the country, that enough is enough, and that this is the last season of the police version of How to Get Away with Murder.
B'Ivory, you talk about accountability. How do we get more accountability for officers who are seen doing misconduct?
Well, I think that, today just sends a message that, the excuses, what we see often across this country is justifications when law enforcement uses deadly force. It's always, we were scared, we didn't have any other choice. And I think today is a day where a jury has determined that, no, that's not the case, that you did not follow the protocols, and that you cannot take your personal ideologies out on individuals of color in this country. Enough is enough. And I think that this is the start of making a change, is letting law enforcement officers know that if you do not adhere to the standard operating procedures, that you will be subjecting yourselves to a reasonable jury. And I think that's what we saw today.
So do you see this as an inflection point for police reform in America? And I go back to that video. That video rocked and just shocked so many people to the core. But without that video, do you think we'd be having this conversation today?
No, Charles, I don't think we would be here today without the video. And I think that's an unfortunate reality that we face here in America, is that we have to have justice by video. And I think we have to get to a point where officers are held accountable without that. And I think that, but when we do have instances of it, we have to believe our eyes. We've seen here with clear evidence, almost 10 minutes of video as it relates to the George Floyd case, and there still was a defense that was presented that tried to call into question the reasonableness of the officer's actions. So I think that, we have to move past that, and I think it's something that demonstrates that we still have a lot of work to do going forward.
B'Ivory LaMarr, we thank you so much for joining us this evening to talk about your reaction to this verdict.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.